Alright, we are here. I am here. But collectively, we are here. I'm like, it's okay. I don't ever know how to start these videos off. But welcome to a day of completion. It's more so like this day is full of mix of everything together. It's like all the holidays mixed together, astrology, and our ancestors just having like one massive party, one biggest event of their time and our time energetically. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. You might hear some background noise, but this is what today is teaching me, is letting go of what making you feel uncomfortable to deliver a message. No matter what situation you in or where you at, you want to get it delivered because it's your divine timing. Because we we are like subconsciously um, telling ourselves that we exist. We're always reminding us about the triangle, about the 369, about creation, about being in it, in the center of your creation. And this time around, not only like this blood moon and this day of like what's happening um globally, uh, worldwidely, like that everybody can feel something of this day. This day doesn't just symbolize just death or ending of a cycle. It is rebirth, but like, see, we was already prepared. Hi, welcome on in. We was already prepared. Um, what was the end? We can see death within our third eye because our ancestors had to go through that ritual first. They had to step in to see what death felt like. Even the ones before them, they had ancestors as well. So this is a time, a day, a year, well, centuries of completing something that you had envisioned. So the first couple of moon cycles we had, um, there was like you seeing the vision, and a lot of times we don't know who's truly controlling the vision. Is it like your ancestors giving you the key to the map of what it is that was designed for you? Or is it something that they're creating for themselves that they didn't have to complete in their cycle when the nine ether came up, when they had to become a ninth being? As us becoming a ninth being, we are completing old soul tides, old soul lineage from our own path, and connected to the ones that died before us. We're clearing off like negative, um, negative vibration. So, like these negative vibrations are transluted and transmitting itself. It's doing itself through the power of your ancestors, because you are acknowledging that you are a spirit in this cycle, in this time, in this life. You are now considered as a ninth ether being. You're able to create. You're able to imagine um, what your world will look like, not what your ancestors are suggesting what your life should look like. It's not your ancestors, it's the people who are in front of you today in your presence, trying to guide you into a vision that is more pursuitable for them, for their vision. Because if one timeline from the old timeline is not working, the odds are that that world becomes a different set of universe of itself, where both parties can get access to their timeline at all, because one is like disagreeing, like, oh, you don't belong in my world because I don't see nothing what you have value of yourself. This is something that I experienced, where you're trying to be a ninth ether, but you don't necessarily have the codes just yet, but you do deep down. It just took a moment for you to sit still, and realize that how you're analyzing things and how you attract yourself to certain things, what makes you a ninth ether being, what makes you a creation, a creator, something of a high vibrational intelligence. And when you let those moments shine, you really truly get the message. It's not just for entertainment purpose only. It's also for the viewer to be advised that when it occurs to you in that moment, it's no longer a dream, it's lucid. You're living inside of a dream. But that dream can come from your ancestors, can come from the dead. Either you're completing the cycle of the dead or the dead of you, which was before you, remembering you, that this is the present you, meaning you was here twice at once. It's possible to be here twice at once, or multiple times all at once with different avatars, and you get to see what they're doing and see different worlds, see different past, present, and future within different version of yourself. Not just your ancestors, but also just self alone from your own creation. What you can identify, what you created, that makes you a ninth ether. You're able to have the ability of all spiritual gifts. Every gift that everybody had name on this platform, name on any other platform you ever come across about spiritual people, about adopting abilities, spiritual abilities, we have them all. We're supposed to. You can call that, everybody wants to point it out in the matrix. This is the matrix standard. This is what they can understand what this consciousness is. But we understand this consciousness on a different quantum, on a different spectrum of frequency, because our frequency was created, you and me, I was also created from a different dimension. I know my body was made, it was manifest, it was projected with two people who had no idea what it would look like, but one particular person did. One had more stronger um, ability to see the future, or see when something is coming, or seeing when somebody's coming. And you grab a daughter or a son who both can see into the future, but one has a different role into the future. The son will always have a different path, the daughter will always have a different path when you give them the key to the vision. But then, what if they start to question everything? everything that was designed for them, everything that was made for them. That's what happened to me. I started questioning, why is it that certain people in the family who have the same order of the divine get to have their access easily, but to that individual in that family might not look at it your way. It might not look at it that this is the divine, this is what I'm supposed to do. They might look at it as like, this is something I need to do. So in this cycle with this blood moon, it was letting go of that old pattern of thinking that way. This time, the last couple of times under the moon, all we did was just test our ability to see how much shit that we can put ourselves into, to see ourselves out of it by using the um use the power of, like, use the power of thought, just by thinking, just by visualizing, just by understanding what it is that you're thinking, that you're trying to visualize, to see within the 3D spectrum, and this avatar and this spirit, like, through you. Sometimes it's hard for you to do that, but you're only making it harder for yourself because you keep wanting to question, why am I being shown this? Why not be that 1% or that 20% that gets to be a part of that action in the vision? Some of us, we do it without realizing, until we had a moment of time to, like, process what's been going on. Like, we had a couple of shifts where it might had change our location, so that we could change the way that we think, to change the way that we, what we put in our body, or um, what we put around us, what type of energy that is around us. Not allowing those same old uh, habits, boundaries that wasn't working before, into and transmute it into a new cycle of positivity. You did that based off of thinking, by feeling what you're thinking and having more beliefs. You you was never stuck of your own cycle nor another ancestor cycle. It was just that you need a moment of time to ask why. Because that why made a bigger picture for you, to go on a different path, to see all ends of life and creation and death. And when you see yourself in a different light, it's still you regardless. And this cycle, you should already know that. Even before this day came, or even before you came to be here in this world, you should already know that you are light. Something had to teach you to turn your light on. I'm pretty sure everybody around you will always say, turn your light on. Is your light on? And you'd be like, during that time, you was in a low vibrational state. Now, the last other moons, you was just in a knowing. Now, you are. And this is where we are. You are stands for completion. It stands for what you value versus nobody else's value. You can accept other people's value and appreciate it or whatever, but at the end of the day, as a ninth ether, you value what you attract. You value what you allow to be you and nobody else. You no longer, like, put up the mask that the ancestors created for you to walk on, to have multiple spirits running around trying to figure out your own direction when it's you yourself that knows the direction. Just like in the Matrix, just like it's a spoon, but just know it's not a spoon. Like some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, think of it like that. That's how creation kind of is. It's just knowing that something is not there, it's there. As you feel it there, you imagine it there. So some of y'all should have half of your vision already coming true. But if it's not this time, that means you're still part of the other collection that we have to help guide to. But don't worry, you'll get there because here's the thing. The littlest things that you think that won't shift your consciousness or won't shift your reality is actually a setback. If you do what is trying to shift your reality, to shift your consciousness, do those little things by wearing certain things, by eating certain things, by hearing certain things, by engaging, by reacting or evolving. But react how you evolve. It's complicated. I don't know how to. The answer just says don't react out of anything out of the order. React only what's in the order. React in the order of you, what you created for yourself. The mantra is the affirmation of yourself, not what was given to you as an example. That's theirs. Your example is different because you got another set of 20% that you gotta collect to wake up to. You gotta open up doors to. The the true version of you that you met in this lifetime now right in your face that might have recently, been gone, you still can access that timeline. You can still continue it for them. The vision. Yep. What's up? So don't act like one vision is gone. No, one vision is just beginning. It's creating. It's just revamping in itself. It's like, okay, some of us, when we get into that stage where we feel like we can't be inside of creation, we can't be inside of the triangle, we can only like see the three-pointed ends of the triangle, but not actually be in it. The thing is why it's like that is because we are visualizing ourselves in the sand of time when we need to already build the ground of time. Because time doesn't really truly exist to us. But somehow the Matrix wants the ancestors to recognize time so that it can keep communicating us back through that way. But they found other ways to communicate with us consciously, not just through our technology, not through what we see, is when the moment of time when we close our eyes from the moment of sleep and awakening and rising, we begin to see the true vision, living in it lucidly. Some of us, we can get visions so quickly, like in the splash. Like somebody can tell us a story, right? And we can see the beginning and we can see the end. We can see what they did the day before, on that day of, what they was wearing, what they ate. It's like that part looks holographic, but when we get the visions of our ancestors wanting us to travel into a different time, it's like a movie. And then if we get a past version of ourselves, it's like a short film because it's only the past. We can only remember just a short amount of the time because we told ourselves to, before we got here, um, is to focus on the future. I don't want to know my past. But now that we're in the future, we're trying to say, I want to know my past. Have we always been in the future? Yes, we always have. Every present moment you had like a spiritual alignment. You knew when something good was going to happen. You knew when something bad was going to happen. The past was the bad. The present and the future are the goods. There's we can always split things up consciously, but if you look at it whole, it's just energetically, it's just your energy echoing back to you in the universe. Like, you think we create all these stories for just our entertainment? No, we live them. In this cycle, we are completing them. We're completing the story, the mission. Um, you can definitely feel when something bad is going to happen sometimes. Yeah, and we also see it before we feel it, and we can stop it. So that's when our ancestors come in. They guide us to show us how to stop it, do things differently than uh, what they did, or do things that you did differently in a different timeline when you already had that same type of timeline already. Not even. We lived this before. If you don't believe me, just Google yourself. Ask AI about who ask it. Who am I? What does my name mean? Like, it will give you breakdown spiritual meanings of your name and who you actually are and how many entities or deities is around your name. What gives you the portal to like each realm or each dimension um, you visit. Sometimes when we first began, the Matrix taught us fear. I wonder why now, in this century, that the Matrix wants to teach us confidence. It wants the new beings of consciousness rise from their old ways, from their old loops. But what if the consciousness we have now, the knowledge we have now, we only just focus on our ancestors, focus on our past, get into our future? What about the what's outside of all of that? I want to know the whole thing when you talk about completion, not just half of the vision. Oh, half of the vision is what? Getting a job, uh, have a family, provide for the family, for the children, and then you're like, okay, I'm seeing everybody's spiritual path. Okay, I get it. That's the gift. That's the little present moment thing that they give you sometimes, is to be able to use the gift when it's needed, when it's necessary. But then they give you a break sometimes. They allow you to have the gift for yourself, to allow you to move in a timeline that you want to see yourself in, not what they created or provided or what the universe or God or source or your source or just you. It's much bigger than that. It's all of it, because you get to see your life after. And then not only after, when you're in the after, you get to change it just like how you did in this after. This is just another after, another avatar, another version of you, remembering you, remembering you saying this already, you already done this already. It's not, it's like we're skipping time or quantum jumping in a way, yes. But it's remembering, I can't say it. I'm not gonna say it. Starts with a R. And an S. So yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. We done this before. Somebody's calling me. I'm not answering that. That might be important. Alright. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was important. But anyway, so yeah, this is more important. Just getting the message out. The happy blood moon. I feel like we had this blood moon before, but it kind of feels like when we had the eclipse that last year. Well, the year before last, before I got here. So it's crazy. So now that we are just in you're in a creation. Sorry you had to go back to the beginning to figure out how you created vision. We use everything that we see to help us, guide us into our vision. It's not so that we allow the program just be programmed. Because what's something without a program, without a system? You can't just have a empty technology box without the tech in it. It needs like something to drive his vision to it. And during these times when we were our shadow and our higher self, our shadow self was seeing death, our higher self was seeing heaven. And one point in time during the frequency of rebirth, which is whenever your rebirth was, that's your divine timing. My rebirth is always in a different divine timing. So I have different it's kind of similar experience, but I won't go into too much detail. But anyway, whatever time is your divine timing, this is the time for you to just be who you are. Not asking questions, not saying why you gotta be like this, why you gotta feel like this, why does this gotta happen to me, why does he gotta come in my life, why does she gotta come in my life, why the fuck, like, don't be like that. Don't be that version of you. This version of you is the alpha. It is the ninth being. You might not look exactly how you saw yourself in this timeline because you've been through traveling. You've been in other rooms for a bit. You had to go here 1 minute, you had to go there 1 minute. And now this is the settlement, the settled version of you. This is the stable version of you. This is the version of you between 30 to something plus years, 40 to something plus years, 50 to 60 something plus years. This is the 22 master. You already you already climbed the Jacob ladder. You're no more stuck in the middle of the Jacob ladder to see more of the heavens, to see more of the beautiful things. The the beautiful things are you. Those are your frequency. In the beginning, you have to go through the matrix. You have to be those type of architects to see how your archetype work. But now that you know what beings associated with you can be all of them. You can be all that's what's in here and what's also in art. So I say choose carefully, but live carefully and live through all of them. Because when you live through all of them, you get all paths, you get all knowledge. And then you're wondering, like, how did I get here? I don't know. But yeah, that's it. I'll come back for part 2.